during World War II, 6-year-old Sergei Aleshkov loses all his relatives and joins the army. Today, we are checking out the film Soldier Boy. Spoilers are ahead and captions are below if needed. The movie begins in Russia, where a family sits by a river. The youngest of the three, Sergei, brags to his older brother and mom about being on top of a tree. Suddenly, German fighter jets fly over the family. The mom wants her kids to hide in the bushes, but Sergei claims he is not scared and strikes the jet with his slingshot. To everyone's surprise, he manages to hit the jets and explode them. But when he looks around, his family is gone. Sergei wakes up frightened from the dream and calls for his mother. Just then, knocks on his door. Assuming it's his mom, she runs to it, but a neighbor woman comes in panicking. She thanks God for keeping him alive and informs that his family members are dead. Sergei can't understand what she is saying and wants to stay in his house for his family to return. The woman tells him that Germans have attacked and he should run away. Then some soldiers approach their house and the woman makes Sergei escape through the window, but is shot before she can escape. Now the 6-year-old is on his own with no one. As Sergei runs away, he sees his whole community burning to the ground. He calls for his mom while running away. After running for a while, he ends up lost in the woods. He calls for his mom desperately, but no one answers. That night, he stays in the jungle. The following morning, we see him drinking water from the river. When the energy soldiers approach him, Sergei quickly hides inside the tree's roots. He is startled when a snake comes but keeps his composure because he is more scared of the soldiers. The soldiers by the river leave, and after Sergei takes their leftover food. By the end of the day, the little boy is exhausted because he hasn't had a proper meal in 2 days. He falls down as he limps, but doesn't stop walking. While on his way, he sees some wild berries and eats them. Suddenly, an explosion occurs behind him, taking him by surprise. The boy gets dizzy and starts to hallucinate. Despite these conditions, he remains brave and yells that he has a gun. He limps forward, falls, and goes unconscious. While he is sleeping, 2 soldiers approach him. It cuts to the Russian army base, where Commander Kuznetsov waits for his patrol soldiers. They come in with the little kid, who is injured and weak. When the soldiers claim they are on his side, the little boy opens up and introduces himself. The soldiers laugh when the kid shakes his hand, with the commander suggesting he introduce himself as well. The soldiers show Sergei affection. They make him drink water and feed him. Even the stern commander wants to take care of him. A nurse named Katia fixes Sergei's wounds and is charmed by his big personality. The kid asks her to draw a tank around his wounds because he wants to be a soldier when he grows up. Even the injured soldiers feel better after talking to Sergei. Sergei becomes fascinated with the commander's gun and has a lot of questions. The commander answers all the little boy's questions and lets him play with his pistol after taking the bullets out. Sergei shows him the tank drawn on his stomach and boasts about being a soldier himself. The boy is healing very quickly. The nurse Katia asks the commander to let the boy stay with the battalion, but he disagrees. It is dangerous. He wants to send Sergei to an orphanage for his safety. The soldiers adopt Sergei as their own and spend all their free time with him. He is visited by many throughout the day. They bring him food sent by their families from afar and even let him play with their binoculars. One day, a soldier goes to the commander to ask him to let the boy stay with the battalion. The soldiers have grown a close connection with the kid and don't want to see him leave. His presence takes the weight of war off their chest. However, the commander is adamant about sending the boy to the orphanage so he won't get caught in the war. The following day, the enemies attack and many soldiers are hurt. A vehicle comes to get Sergei to take him to the orphanage. The commander breaks the news to Sergei and gives him a wooden pistol as a goodbye gift. The boy in turn hugs him, claiming that he is scared for the commander's safety. The commander gets emotional and changes his mind. He asks Sergei to stay with the soldiers and become his son. That night, the soldiers look for little soldier clothes for the Sergei, as they are all ecstatic to have Sergei staying with them. The commander wakes Sergei up and gives him the clothes. He wears them and runs around looking like a real soldier. The others start calling him their little soldier boy. As the kid runs around, the Germans launch an air attack on the battalion. The soldiers quickly take Sergei to a safe place and fights the others. The number of injured soldiers grows quickly. Sergei wants to help out, so he brings water to the soldiers. One of them asks him to read a letter sent by his family because he has a bandage over his eyes. The little boy wants to read it, but doesn't know how to. So he takes the letter and starts making up the things written on it, claiming that the soldier's cow is safe back home. When the soldier says he doesn't have a cow, the others tell him to go along with the story and laugh. He reads everyone else's letters, and as always, this cheers everyone up. In the following scene, we see Katia and the commander flirting. The two seem to be attracted to each other, but do not confess their feelings. Later, Sergei tells the commander that he is of the orderly position in the battalion and starts introducing himself as one. However, the boy then sees one of the soldiers' station destroyed from the attack. The commander teaches him to take his hat off to pay respect to the dead soldier. The next day, he insists the commander give him a mission and is given a task to distribute the letters among the soldiers. He completes his task efficiently and even makes the soldiers dance for him. The following day, Sergei goes a little far from the base with his binoculars. As he is playing with it, he sees someone's leg moving from inside a haystack. He rushes back to the battalion and tells the soldiers about his findings. The soldiers are skeptical, but go with the boy anyway. When they reach near the haystack, they are alerted to see two German spies hiding underneath. The spies are arrested, and the kid is praised for his intelligence. That night, the commander shows Sergei the legal papers for his adoption. He is now officially the kid's father. Sergei knows of the commander's feelings for Katia, so to repay his kindness, he takes him to confess to her. But the two see her talking to a different man and wrongfully assume she is interested in someone else. The base is attacked by the Germans again. This time, Sergei helps the soldiers with all his might by supplying ammunition to the soldiers in the front line, but the soldiers there command him to go back to the shed because it is too dangerous outside. When he comes to the shed, he sees the commander and others panicking because the phone's connection with the colonel is lost. A soldier is sent to fix the broken wires. Sergei follows the soldier and sees he has been fatally wounded. He asks the dying soldier how he can fix the wires, and does it himself. The connection comes back and more troops are called. The 6-year-old saves everyone's life. Later, we see the commander and Katia talking by the river. The commander finally confesses his love for her and asks her to be Sergei's mother. Katia is extremely excited, but before she can say anything, a soldier approaches them and gives the commander a letter saying they have been dispatched from the base. The following day, all the soldiers leave for their new base along with Sergei. However, on their way, they come across a minefield that blows off some of their vehicles. The commander is hurt while the group's orderly, who Sergei was close with, dies in the explosion. He cries and hugs the commander. They carry the injured ones with them and continue their journey to their new base. When they finally reach the other base, they meet the commander's leader, the general. He too is impressed by the kid's ambition and congratulates the commander for having such a smart kid. The following day, their division is awarded a guard's banner, and so is the boy. He promises to save his country when the general gives him his badge. One night, their base is attacked brutally, and the commander is trapped under the ruins. Sergei cries for his father and tries to save him. He calls the other soldiers, who finally brings the commander out. The next day, Sergei approaches an injured commander. His hands were hurt while trying to save the commander. The kid is now an inseparable part of the team. He doesn't have a family beside them and moves wherever they go in the war. The movie ends as the regiment is seen moving to another base. A voice in the background narrates that he even took part in the Stalingrad battle.
Here are some other movies we've covered on this channel. Feel free to check them out as well.
So, should we watch another movie? If you said yes, click here. Also, if you enjoy the content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, always remember to chase your dreams.